Hello, hello, it's Mrs. Lohoff. This is lesson 4.2, addition of mixed numbers, part B. Mixed numbers. A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. It's a mixture of two different measurements, a whole and a part. And we're going to be adding those together. So I've got it set up here. I'm going to move me, well, how's that? That should work. Let's put me up here. Okay. Our whole number is 4. Our fraction is 2/3. 4 and 2/3 is a mixed number because it's a mixture of a whole number and a fraction. 8 and 1/6 is a mixed number where we have 8 wholes and 1/6, a mixture of a whole number and a fraction. We're going to add these two numbers together. Now, last time we added mixed numbers where the denominator or the bottom number of the fraction was the same. This time, if you look, that's always the first thing I check. They're not the same. So we have to find that least common multiple. Yep, it's back! Between 3 and 6. Maybe you have one in your mind. Go ahead and pause, write it down, and then see if we come up with the same least common multiple. If you don't know how to do it, let's work on that together. So our denominators are 3 and 6. I'm going to go over to my least common multiple chart and I'm going to write in the numbers 3 and 6. Now, I copy from the multiplication chart all of the facts for 3. 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, and I keep going until I find a number that's the same in the row for the multiplication facts of 3 as I find in the multiplication facts for 6. So as I'm completing the facts for 3, I'm thinking to myself, will I see this number in the facts in the row of 6? So let's go ahead and see what happens. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. You already may have noticed we have a common. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to go one more, even though I've noticed some common numbers already. 3 times 6 is 18. All right, 6 times 1 is 6. You notice that number also appears in the row of 3. That is a common multiple. 6 times 2 is 12, and 6 times 3 is 18. Oops, I was going to write 13. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, hey, are you noticing more than one number in common? I have 6 in common. There's 12 in common. And there's 18 in common. The fact is, every multiplication fact of 6 will also appear on the multiplication facts for 3. But remember, we have to find the one that is the least or the smallest. So the ones they have in common are 6, 12, and 18. The common multiple that is the least is 6. So that's what we're going to use in rebuilding our fractions. So our least common multiple is 6. And the first thing we need to do is rebuild our fractions. We're going to copy over that whole number because it stays the same. And then I'm going to build my fraction with a denominator of 6, copy my whole number, and build my fraction with a denominator of 6. To go from 3 to 6, we multiplied 3 times 2. Whatever you do to one part of a fraction, you have to do the exact same thing to the top. 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 and 2/3 is the same value as 4 and 4/6. For the bottom number, we already have it in 6, so we just need to copy it. Now we have denominators that are the same, and we can add just like we did before. And I'm going to change colors for this part. 4 plus 8 is 12. 4/6 plus 1/6 is 5/6. This fraction cannot be reduced, so the final answer is 12 and 5/6. See how it's the same process we did before? We're just adding in a mixed number, a whole number, in front of the fraction. Let's look at a second example. 3 and 1/15, that's a 3. Move myself a little bit more out of the way. 3 and 1/15 plus 2/5. Check out that denominator. Again, they are not the same. We cannot add fractions when the denominators are different numbers. Then we have to find our least common multiple. Maybe you have one in mind. We'll see if you come up with the same one. Oh, check our denominators. What were they again? 15 and 5. All right, I'm going to put 15 and 5 in the chart. I'm going to start with 5s. I'm not as familiar with my 15 facts, so I'm going to start with 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. Hey, 15 times 1 is 15. That is the very first number in the multiplication chart, so that's going to be the smallest one they have in common, 15. All right, our least common multiple is 15. So let's rebuild these mixed numbers where the fraction part has a denominator of 15. 3 and, oh, this one doesn't have a whole number. This one just has a fraction. Okay. Well, 15 to 15, we multiplied by 1. It stays the same, so we copy that 1 over. To go from 5 to 15, we multiply 5 times 3. If I multiply that part of the fraction by 3, I have to do the same to the top. 2 times 3 is 6. And now we are ready to add. I'm going to change colors so it pops a little bit. 3, 1/15 plus 6/15 is 7/15. So the answer is 3 and 7/15. That cannot be reduced or simplified. All right, one more. 5 and 1/3 plus 9 and 6/7. Our denominators are different. We must find that least common multiple. All right, 3 and 7. Put it in the chart, 3 and 7. All right, change my color. 3 times 1 is 3. Remember, you can copy these numbers directly from a multiplication chart. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. And 3 times 9 is 27. All right, let's do sevens. 7 times 1, 7. 7 times 2. It's a good way to practice your multiplication facts. 7 times 3, is 21. That number appeared in the other chart too. And it happens when we multiply the two numbers to each other. That is the first number they have in common. That is the smallest number they have in common. That is our least common denominator. So let's go back and put that in, 21. Now we're going to go and we're going to change the denominators to be 21. So copy that whole number, and our denominator will be 21. We have 9, copy the whole 9, and our denominator will be 21. To get to 21 from 3, we multiplied 3 times 7. So we're going to multiply the top times 7. 1 times 7 is 7. To get to 21 from 7, we multiplied 7 times 3. So we do the same to the top. 6 times 3 is 18. Now we are ready to add. Let me change colors so that it shows up. We're going to add our whole numbers. 5 and 9 is 14. 7 21s, 21st, so 7 21st? Yeah, 7 over 21 plus 18 over 21 is 25 over 21. Now, that is called an improper fraction because the top number is bigger than the bottom. You don't have to remember that it's called that, but you have to be able to identify that this makes a whole. Remember, if I had a pan of brownies, we didn't make any this recently, and they were cut into 21 pieces, the top number says I need 25 total. So I would have one whole pan, plus to get to 25, I'd need 4 more pieces out of the 21 in here. So that would be 4 21sts again. There's that 21st. So I have another whole. This now becomes 15. And the fraction remaining is this whole was added to this right here. So I'm left with the fraction of 4 over 21. So the answer is 15 and 4 over 21. And that cannot be reduced. So be on the lookout for improper fractions. Be on the lookout for fractions where the top number is bigger, because it means you've created at least one more whole unit to add to that whole number. All right, that's it for this lesson. So guys, if you have, I'm going to save that one. If you have questions, be sure to pop in. Those that you saw me go past, I'll go over in the optional support session. And if you have questions, reach out, ask them. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.